Well, in typical race car fashion, I realized that I'm a dumbass and my original plan is not going to work. I said in my last video for my upper coilover mounts I was going to have kind of a bar right here with a bunch of holes for adjustability. Well, same as the bottom, if I do that up here, it's going to hit the coilover. Even with the coilover being more vertical like I said it's going to be, it's still going to hit. And once again, in typical race car fashion, I spent way too much time trying to think of a new solution. I was thinking about doing kind of the same thing with a bar that comes across with a bunch of holes in it, but then having a tab that bolts to that extends the point a little bit lower. Now that would in theory work, but then my coilover mount is going to be, probably 2 inches below the bar, which is going to have way too much angle on these, and I want them to be as vertical as possible, like I said. But then I finally decided just to ditch the variability plan and I'm just going to weld on some tabs. The reason I wanted this in the first place is because I have absolutely no idea how much this truck's going to squat with the weight of the bed and everything else on it. But at the end of the day, I think with the adjustment I have on the bottom and the coilovers themselves, I'll be fine. And just in case, I'm just going to be throwing some heavy tacks on these and I can move them later if I really need to. And I'll probably just throw a guess on there as far as where they need to mount. Probably, 8 inches out. Now as far as mounting these tabs themselves, I run into another problem. The center line of my coilovers is about right here somewhere. So if I were to do tabs on both sides of the coilovers, my bar would have to be on that same center line, but then it's going to interfere with the hog. Now I could just cut and do a little bump up that goes over the hog, but that's going to be above the C, and I'm trying to keep everything under the C because I want to keep my bed floor. Which of course I'm going to have to raise the 5 inches of the C, but that's moot point. So what I finally decided I'm going to do is just to weld on one tab offset on the bar, somewhere about right there, and the coilover will get pinched to it just like that, the same way the bottom is done. I know a lot of people told me that this isn't strong enough and it's not going to work, but I've seen plenty of other setups out there like this and it should be fine. Worst case, if it's not, I'll come up with something else. But for now, it's what I'm going to run with because it's the simplest solution. I'm tired of thinking about it and I just want to get this thing a little bit closer to done. With that being said, I have a whole bunch of welding ahead of me and then I should be able to finally set this thing back on the ground. And I'm really excited to see how low it's going to be. Probably going to have to take the front fenders back off and drop the front more because I don't want this poor truck to do a Carolina squat.